Everything was supposed to be fine. You had built something, a life, a plan, a relationship, a career, a version of your future that made sense. And then, piece by piece, or all at once, it started to fall apart. Things you thought were solid turned out to be fragile. People you thought were permanent turned out to be seasonal. Plans you thought were certain dissolved in your hands, and you're standing in the rubble of something you worked so hard to build, wondering what went wrong. Because it doesn't feel like a redirection. It feels like demolition. And there's a grief that comes with watching something you built with your own hands come down. But what if the thing that's crumbling wasn't built on the right foundation? And what if God loves you too much to let you keep pouring your energy into something that, had it stood, would have kept you from the life He actually designed for you? Matthew 7, verse 26 and 27 describes a man who built his house on sand, and the storms came, and the floods rose, and the house fell with a great crash. God is not the storm in that story, but He is the one who, after the crash, is present with the blueprint for something better, built this time on rock. Sometimes the crumbling is not the enemy attacking. Sometimes it is the Father removing what we built on the wrong thing, so we can build again on what lasts. Think about Abraham. God asked him to leave everything, his country, his people, his father's household, and go to a land he had never seen. Every familiar structure of Abraham's life had to come down before the new thing God was building could begin. Genesis 12, verse 1 says, "Go," before it says, "I will show you." The deconstruction came before the destination was revealed. But the crumbling of Abraham's familiar life was not bad luck. It was the clearing of ground for a legacy that would bless every nation on earth. Here's what God is doing in the middle of your crumbling chapter. He is revealing what was built on the wrong foundation. It is painful, but it is merciful. A house built on sand will eventually fall regardless. The question is only when. If that foundation was going to give way anyway, it is an act of love for God to let it give way now, while you still have time and strength to build again, rather than later when the cost would be even greater. Proverbs 14, verse 12 says, "There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end, it leads to death." Some chapters need to end precisely because continuing them would cost you the life God intended for you. He is teaching you who you are without the structures you depended on. When the job is gone, the relationship is gone, the title is gone, the plan is gone. Who are you? What do you actually believe? What are you made of? The crumbling of external structures is often God's way of revealing the internal ones, the ones that cannot be shaken. And what you discover about yourself in the rubble is often more valuable than anything you had before it fell. He is preparing the ground for something you couldn't have built while the old thing was still standing. You cannot build new while you are still maintaining old. The physical, emotional, and spiritual bandwidth required to hold together something that was already crumbling was keeping you from the energy required to begin something new. The crumbling is not just an ending, it is a release. God is freeing your hands so you can receive what He has for you next. Isaiah 43, verse 18 and 19 says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? God is not mourning what fell. He is already working on what comes next. The question is whether you will stay in the ruins or turn your eyes toward what He is building." You didn't fail. The foundation wasn't strong enough for what God wanted to give you, and so He cleared the ground. Let Him build something better. If this gave language to a season of loss and rebuilding, share it with someone who needs hope in the rubble. Subscribe for more biblical encouragement. And remember, God doesn't demolish without a blueprint. The new thing is already in His hands.